Don People's Deadbolt. Let's talk about it. So we got to speak on this Joe Buttons and Drake situation that sparked back off because Joe Buttons had a lot to say when he reviewed For All My Dogs, Drake's newest album release, and basically told Drake that you sounding like Lil Yachty around this bitch. Why are you trying to cater so much to the kids and you need to grow up musically? Now, this obviously got up under Drake's skin. You know, they've been beefing for so long, so it's like a light skin thing. You know what I'm saying? Um, Drake had a lot to say when he clapped back, and you could tell he really put his emotions into it, just like Drake would do. You know what I'm saying? Because coming from Joe, this would not be tolerated. And when I read what he clapped back and said to Joe, I can definitely tell, man, this was personal. Basically calling Joe a failed rapper. And obviously, you're doing this because this is how you have to feed your family. Saying that he is not successful, never was successful, and that his jersey would never be hung in the Raptors is crazy. I mean, Drake could have just put this response in a verse. Because instead of coming at NBA Youngboy, you should have threw those bars for your boy Joe Buttons. But you could tell that this got up under Drake's skin. And Joe replied with this the simple remark of saying, you'll grow up sooner or later. Father Time is undefeated. And that is the realest ever. Father Time is undefeated. Drake is getting up there in age. He's about to be 37. Now, what made Drake who he is, I feel, and kept him musically in tune is that he was always able to reach back down and grab sounds from the younger generation and make them into his own to keep his style relevant. I think that's what's kept Drake where he's at now. you know. So I don't know if ditching that formula, I mean, but I think Drake is at the point in his career where he's built such a sturdy fan base from young teens all the way up. People in their 40s and 50s love Drake. So, it's one of those things to where if he made more grown up, more adult contemporary music, um, would he still pack out shows? Would he still be able to be the number one Dandada? And that's the one thing that I can't necessarily say is the truth, because I don't know if we're going to continue to support. I mean, it might be like how we do Jay-Z, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the older heads and stuff like that, and people who've been listening to hip hop since the 90s, early 2000s, obviously Jay-Z is like one of the top dogs. He could still sell out shows and still do his 1-2. But the way Drake drop albums now is how Jay used to drop albums back in the day. You couldn't wait to hear a Jay-Z album. It was the same response with this Drake album. But For All My Dogs seems to be For All My Cats, because it's like he's trying to reach another demographic. It's like you have to be content with what you are and who you are. You don't have to jump into the Bad Bunny lane. You don't have to go down to the Little Yachty lane. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do these things. You can be who you are and embody that sound that you've been embodying for over a decade now. Because your albums are anticipated. Like, out of all the albums that drop, you know what I'm saying, every year or whatever the case may be, yours is for us is definitely up there. And I think you have to understand your place as a legend. You don't have to kind of make music for the youngsters no more. And I understand now you're taking a break for mental health reasons. You hinted towards gut issues and stuff like that. I don't know if it came from the lipo, right? Because, surgeries and stuff can fuck up your gut line. But at the end of the day, man, like, you've made timeless music. I would love to hear a Drake album that embodies that soul, that history, like that. You know what I mean? Like when I see you on there with barrettes in your head, looking like Barry Aflulu, I'm not understanding that because I'm like, man, you at the point now where you don't have to do that. And if they're telling you to do that, this is when you throw up the peace sign. And I hope that for all my dogs was your alleged peace sign. Like, I'm just going to bow out. You always said you weren't going to be the old head rapper. You know what I'm saying? Still rapping. I think you've put out enough work to where musically, man, you could sit back. You could relax. You could be like a Kendrick Lamar. You don't have to be the face on top of the face. And I think that's where we're at in Drake's career right now. Because this album, to me, was a reach. It was an album that you wanted to reach a certain demographic. I don't know if you did. We'll see what the final numbers are. But I think you let down your core fans, your old school fans, the ones that grew with you from 2008 all the way until now. I think you owe them that. And that should have been for what All My Dogs was about. But I want y'all to get in the comment box, man, and let me know what y'all think. Do y'all feel like Joe Budden's got up under Drake's skin with his remarks and his critique over his album musically, basically saying that he's for the kids and he needs to grow up musically? Or do y'all feel like that was a solid project and that's what y'all wanted to hear from Drake? And also the response. Did he for Joe Budden's with that response? Y'all just let me know what's going on, man. Y'all like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, share. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy, Don Peoples.